My husband, who had always hated stuffed toys, suddenly brought home a giant teddy bear and started sleeping with it every night. He even began to ignore me, leaving me cold and alone. I couldn't take it anymore, so I asked for a divorce at our son's first birthday party. Everyone was stunned. My husband picked up a glass of wine and splashed it in my face, shouting angrily, "You're jealous of a teddy bear? Are you insane?" I wiped the mess off my face and replied coldly, "Didn't you keep saying you wanted to spend forever with that teddy bear? I'll grant you your wish." "Claire, our son just turned 1 and you're asking for a divorce over something this ridiculous? You're completely insane." Brandon clenched his fists in anger, his eyes wide with disbelief. "Sign the papers. See you at the city hall at 9 a.m. tomorrow." I couldn't be bothered to argue anymore. I threw down the divorce agreement and turned to leave. The guests were once again dumbfounded. No one could understand why the couple they all admired, the so-called perfect pair, was suddenly falling apart like this. A flicker of panic and confusion crossed Brandon's eyes. His parents immediately frowned, their expressions darkening. They hadn't expected me to be this resolute. His assistant, Bella, yanked me back and tried to persuade me. "Who says guys can't like stuffed toys? Stop being crazy and just apologize to Brandon. Don't forget how much Brandon dotes on you. When you said you liked the plums from the neighboring city, he drove there overnight just to buy them. When he heard you were going into labor, he braved a massive storm to rush home. He even got into a car accident, but still ran to the hospital with blood all over his head. He sleeps in a separate room so he won't disturb you and the baby. Why can't you see how much he's done for you?" The guests began to criticize me as well. "Bella is right, your life is going just fine. Why are you making a scene? Do you know how many people envy you for marrying such a good husband? Maybe it's postpartum depression. Your emotions have been all over the place lately. If something's bothering you, sit down and talk it out. Don't go throwing around the word divorce like that." Brandon took a deep breath, steadying his emotions, then stepped forward and pulled me into his arms. "Honey," he said softly, "we've been through 12 years together, meeting, falling in love, building a life side by side. I know you. You're gentle, never the type to lose your temper. I know childbirth was hard on you and you've been juggling the company too. Are you struggling with something? Feeling overwhelmed? Just say the word, we'll face it together." His words, full of concern, only made the crowd admire him more and made me seem even more ungrateful in their eyes. "Claire, my dear," his mother finally spoke after a long silence, "I may be retired and no longer involved in business, but people still respect me. We're family. If something's wrong, say it. Don't keep it bottled up inside." Even his father, who had stayed quiet all this time, now chose to speak, choosing to believe in my character. After all, I was the daughter-in-law they had carefully chosen. Ignoring everyone's eyes on me, I shoved Brandon away and said coldly, "It's simple. I don't love you anymore." The room fell into stunned silence. "What? Say that again." Brandon froze, his eyes gradually turning red. "I said I don't love you anymore. Did you hear it clearly this time?" With that, I stepped around Brandon and started to walk away. "Stop right there." But the next second, Bella yanked my arm forcefully and snapped, "Can you stop making a scene already? Even I, his assistant, can't stand watching this anymore. Have you forgotten how much you used to love Brandon? You chased him for 3 whole years, and it took another 6 years before you two finally got married. Have you forgotten what you said at the wedding? To hold his hand and grow old together, never leaving one another. And your child is already 1. Do you really want him to grow up in a broken family?" She was clearly siding with Brandon. I glanced at her with a half-smile. "And what's it to you? Why so worked up? Don't tell me you." Before I could finish, Bella cut me off, her tone turning even more arrogant. "Anyone with a conscience would be disgusted by how ungrateful you are. You came from nothing and yet Brandon never looked down on you. He even arranged for you to work at his company. If it weren't for his family, do you think you'd be living the life you are now? That you'd be sitting in the CEO chair?" I slapped her across the face without hesitation. "You're just an assistant. Know your place." Brandon immediately panicked. "Claire, are you crazy? What gives you the right to hit Bella?" He shoved me aside and hurried to help Bella up from the ground, his eyes filled with worry for her. "She deserved it," I snapped. I clenched my fists, standing my ground without the slightest hint of guilt. Immediately, the mood shifted, everyone's impression of me soured. They all began to think that my usual gentle demeanor had just been an act. That underneath it all, I was fake, short-tempered and always looking to stir up trouble. Bella rushed to Brandon and said tearfully, "I'm sorry, Brandon. This is all my fault. I shouldn't have spoken out of turn. I upset her. Please don't blame her." She lowered her head slightly, her voice full of remorse. "It's not your fault," Brandon said gently. "It's me who dragged you into this." Then he turned to me, speaking humbly, "Honey, this is between us. There's no need to take it out on someone else. Today is our son's first birthday. Can we not do this? Please, I'm begging you." As he spoke, tears welled in his eyes. His calm and compromise, my recklessness and defiance, the contrast couldn't have been more stark. And just like that, the guests all stood firmly on Brandon's side. His father, Edward, took a deep breath, trying once more to speak kindly. "Claire, all these years you've been diligent, devoted to the family and very respectful to us. There's no need for things to escalate like this. If you can provide solid proof that you've been wronged, I promise I'll stand up for you." He was offering me a way out, but I didn't take it. Instead, I remained just as cold and resolute as ever. "I'm ending this marriage, no doubt about it. Edward's face darkened instantly, his expression stormy. Tears streamed down Brandon's face as he looked at me. Honey, is there someone else? Say whatever you want. If that's what you want to believe, fine. I answered flatly. Enough. Edward finally lost his patience and roared. Claire, don't think we're that easy to push around. I'm giving you 3 days to think this over. Either you go back to living properly as husband and wife, or we'll see you in court. And don't expect to walk away with anything. Don't forget, everything you have today was given by me. His words landed heavy. Everyone thought that would be the moment I gave in, but I turned and walked away without looking back. Outside, my junior, Ethan, had already been waiting for a while. I've sent someone to Endora, he said with a smile. The answers you're looking for should be coming soon. Thank you. I'll be facing Brandon in court in 3 days. I'll need you there as my lawyer. Exhausted in both body and mind, I slumped into the back seat and pulled out my phone, opening a saved surveillance video. On the screen, Brandon's beloved teddy bear could be seen swaggering out of the side bedroom. Then, unbelievably, it started dancing right in front of the living room camera. 3 days. That was all the time I needed to prepare and bring everything to light. I had planned to stay at a hotel, but my card was declined, every account frozen. That's when it hit me. Over the past year, control over the finances had quietly returned to the Shaw family's hands. Even the account name of a bank card I had used for 20 years had quietly been changed to Brandon's. To the outside world, I seemed to be living in a happy, harmonious family. But in truth, I was all alone. After spending a night at Ethan's place, I went to the company the next day to pick up a few things. The moment I stepped into the lobby, I was met with a wave of sneering comments from the staff. She really hooked a rich guy and still doesn't know how lucky she is. Filing for divorce? Dumber than a pig. So what if Mr. Shaw likes cuddling a teddy bear to sleep? That's nothing. I like them too. She probably got tired of him because he's gained a bit of weight. Wouldn't be surprised if she's got 7 or 8 boy toys stashed somewhere. The way they looked at me was like I was some monstrous criminal, full of judgment, scorn and disgust. Before I could say a word, a voice spoke up behind me. Enough. All of you, shut your mouths. Who gave you the right to gossip like that? Get back to work. It was Brandon. Only then did the employees disperse, grumbling under their breath. Honey, he said, stepping forward, I bought you a watch. Try it on. He pulled a sleek, brand new wristwatch from his bag. Gasps echoed instantly around the room. A Patek Philippe limited edition. Only 3 were ever made and all were sold to mysterious collectors. Mr. Shaw must have pulled every string he could to get that watch. He's so thoughtful. Everyone looked on with admiration and envy. But my expression remained cold as I refused. I'm just here to get my heirloom. You can keep the watch for the teddy bear. The words hit hard. Brandon froze. The employees were instantly outraged, calling me heartless and ungrateful. I ignored them all and headed upstairs without a glance. When my parents passed away, the only thing they left me was a pendant said to ward off evil.